So we all want our worship ministries to grow, but how do you audition new members for the worship team? What should that look like? What questions should you ask? What should the process be? What should you look for as a worship leader? We're here at Life Church to talk about their process. Hey, it's Dave Dolphin at practicalworshipblog.com, sharing ideas, tips, and practical advice for the everyday worship leader. And today we're at Life Church Central with Jeff Hall, and he is on staff, a part of Worship Central, and one of his responsibilities is auditioning potential new members for the worship team.
So what we do here at Life Church, we're in our 21st year, and so part of my job is to recruit and to audition and then push people out into our pipeline, which are players that serve on campuses. And then when we open new campuses, those players become the full-time players at that prospective campus. And we are set to open 3 new campuses this year alone.
Okay, so like, for example, let's say I'm interested in being on the team. I've been coming here for a while, and I want to take that next step and maybe potentially be a part of the worship team. How does that work?
Okay, it's really easy. We have a website that's set up to field really everything about what Life Church Worship is. And you can get there by going to www.life.church/worship. On that page, we have everything we've done worship-wise. All of our content's there. You can stream all the music. And at the bottom, there are 3 boxes that you can check. There are 2 staff box options, and then there's a contractor box. That takes you to an application process. You fill out the application with all the pertinent information, who you are, your social media, and you upload your audition to that. And we ask questions about your faith and where you come from, and just everything there. We might be able to get to know you on text. That immediately comes to me. I review it, I set up a phone screen, and then we set up a time to meet or talk through that, and that's the very first step in getting up to the audition point.
Okay, so you schedule an audition. What does that process look like for you guys?
Okay, great. So I take all the information that you gave me on your application, and then I set a time for you to actually perform on a campus that you would likely be performing at, something similar to that. We schedule a night for that to happen, and then there's a rhythm section, so drums, bass, keys, guitar, and then you will receive, we use Planning Center as a means to be able to share and learn material from for our weekend services. So you would receive the same amount of time that it would require someone who's currently serving on a team. So if it's 2 or 3 or 4 days, whatever it would be. So you'll step on stage, you'll get your stuff ready to go, and then we'll just start the set. You'll play down the songs. Hopefully you've listened to the transitions. All those kinds of things will happen, and then I'll be listening with a couple other people on my team from a couple different vantage points. First, we'll listen in the room. I'll listen just in the house. I'll stand in front of the house, or I'll walk around the room and just kind of listen in a way that will tell me a few things, like, are you aware of the room you're playing in, all those kinds of things. So we're going to look and listen like we were an attender. And then secondly, I'll put on a set of ears and then listen in a mix that would be similar to maybe what the bass player's hearing or guitar player's hearing. And so I can really kind of determine accuracy and all those to parts, and if you're playing on the grid well enough, and all those kinds of things. So what does it feel like to really play on stage with you?
Okay, so during that worship audition, what are some of the things that you're looking for?
I think like anything else, we're gonna look at a couple different perspectives. First, I want to make sure that your self-awareness is really on point. When you click the box, there's a selection box on the application. If it says expert, then my set of expectations are going to be at a certain place. If you set amateur or beginner or whatever, those kinds of things, that's going to help kind of let me understand what are the things, what are the inherent potential things that I might be wanting to look for. So in the perspective of playing in the room, if you're a drummer, that's the loudest acoustic instrument on stage. So I'm going to want to make sure that you are aware that you're not just playing like it's Madison Square Garden. I want you to play like it's the room that you're in, an 800-seat room-ish. The other perspective of listening with in-ears in, I want to make sure that you not only can play right tight to it, and that's all rhythm section players, not just drummers, but you also learn the parts. Like I believe that art lies in the details. So your ability to listen and retain and then perform those things is essential for us to make sure that we have a great experience every weekend.
Well, I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes out here just for us to kind of pick your brain. And for more information, Life Church actually has a really good resource for worship leaders and worship team members of churches of all kinds of different sizes. It's really beneficial.
Yeah, that's true. We have a really cool site. It's called Open Network. And what Open is, it is a hub where we keep really literally over 1 million pieces of content that includes everything from stems, from original tracks that we recorded, from ProPresenter files, all the stuff that you would likely want to use. And we actually are partnering with some pretty large churches as well. Hillsong is one of them, so feel free to check it out. You can find your way there at www.open.life.church.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, here at Practical Worship, we love sharing ideas and tips and practical advice for the everyday worship leader with videos just like this one. So if this was beneficial, consider subscribing to the channel. That way you know when new videos are uploaded here on the channel. Also, if this was beneficial to you, you might know someone that could benefit from this information that you might connect with on Facebook and Twitter and places like that. So consider sharing this link out on social media. And for more great practical advice, check out practicalworshipblog.com.